And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cameron Woolley Show. With me is Ming Chen.
What's up, everybody?
And I am Cameron Woolley. So we're just going to get this out of the way. The New York Yankees are playing absolutely terribly right now.
I love you. Just tear that Band-Aid off.
They're playing just an absolute disgrace that this team has become since their hot start. Yeah, I was thinking this team had World Series aspirations, and that's on me.
Gone out the window.
That's on me for being fooled by this group again. An Aaron Boone managed Yankee team, a Brian Cashman built Yankee team. I can't believe I do this to myself every year. I always say, I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not falling for it this time. No. I'm smart. I'm hardened by this team. This team's hurt me enough to where I will never be hurt again. And then sure the bleep enough, they find a way to hurt me again. It's the same thing as 2022. I mean, it's more an insult to my intelligence that I've allowed myself to get tricked, bamboozled, if you will, by this team. Every year I allow it to happen. Every year I'm like, no, I'm going to be more restrained. I'm going to be more patient. I'm not going to fall for the hot start again. Not like the other. Granted, it took a while for me to buy into this team completely. The Soto home run against San Francisco, that Sunday game in San Francisco, that made me believe. I did not believe in this team until June 2nd. And now we are at June 26th, and I have lost
24 days later.
I lost
all gone.
Any and all faith I had in this Yankee team. And it always starts like in June. The same thing with the 2022 team. It started with a loss in June, a blown lead in June. That game being the Royals game that we saw live.
Yeah.
Clay Holmes taking the lead into the bottom of the ninth and then blowing it.
Yeah.
Then we saw that was an isolated incident, and then they come back, play a virtually perfect game at Fenway Park. We're thinking, okay, maybe that was a blip. This team's back to where they should be, and then they follow that up by losing the next two games. And then they play the Orioles. They win the first game against the Orioles. Judge gets hurt, and then the second game, the Yankees kind of barely lose that after kind of clawing back a little bit.
That was a good game.
I mean, yeah.
That was a good game.
I mean, yeah, that was that.
Lost single-handedly by Jose Trevino. Maybe not single-handedly, but he played a big part.
A lot of, I mean, there are just so many.
Part of it. That was probably the best game I saw this season, though.
Of course, you think that was the best game you saw this season.
Pins and needles, man. Pins and needles, and
of course you're in the fun stage of your championship window, where you think you're gonna be a dynasty. I see you with that sick Cal Ripken jersey.
Mitchell Ness Cooperstown collection. Yes,
like that is. So you got the USA patch on the back too. So
yeah. Oh, yep. Oh, on the back.
Yeah, on the back you got the USA patch. So yeah, that's.
Yeah. Well, I love this headline here from MLB.com. Gritty Orioles even battle with AL East Titans. Gritty. Our favorite word here.
Grit. Sandpaper.
Yeah. That was a good game. Garrett Cole's return last Wednesday night.
He was, and last night I will get to Cole.
Yes.
But, I mean, Cole has been, there's talk of him still being hurt and being rushed back, which I would not put it past this training staff to absolutely
just throw him out there,
to absolutely mangle the rehab of for my money, the best pitcher on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. What he did last year and his longevity, I think he can stake a claim to being the best pitcher in the world.
Yeah, and then insult to injury against the Mets. The Mets.
Yeah. Dude, Garrett Cole has been owned by the Mets for his entire career. And then, top of the first, bases loaded. I don't care what happened the rest of the game. This is where the Yankees lost at. Top of the first, bases loaded, nobody out again. And they don't score a single run. That is I don't know what team can do that and still call themselves a World Series contender. You can't do that multiple times.
Yeah, single, walk.
I mean, much less
strikeout.
Much less in a single season. In the span of a couple weeks, they do that. This is not a that's baseball moment. This is an indictment on this team, an issue that they have had for years. You have the top of the lineup, like Volpe, Soto, and Judge are outstanding at the top of the order. They're incredible. I cannot say
what do you love
enough
about them?
things.
They get on base.
I cannot say enough
They get on base.
about how much I love the top third of this lineup.
Okay, we got 9 guys on
And
in
then
the lineup.
it significantly declines, especially after Giancarlo Stanton got hurt again.
Again, 10-day IL.
Which is probably going to turn into 2 months, and he's not going to be able to hit for the rest of the year.
What's wrong with him this time?
Hamstring again.
Again?
Jogging around third. He's intentionally slowing himself down so he doesn't get hurt.
And he gets hurt.
And he got hurt rounding third. I wouldn't get hurt doing that. And I am not a very, granted, I'm in better shape than I've been in a while,
Sure.
but I'm not in particularly great shape. Even then, if I was jogging around third, I wouldn't pull my hamstring.
You also make $35 million less than
Yeah, I make significantly less money than Giancarlo Stanton. Dude, Stanton still collects the paycheck if he gets hurt anyways, so it's not a very incentive-laden contract. It's baseball. All of the money's guaranteed.
Yep.
Which I don't know how the Players Association pulled that off. I mean, the NFL still has a whole conundrum with guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to see guaranteed contracts in the NFL after Deshaun Watson.
I'd be all for that, but yet again, the bases loaded, no outs, nothing to show for it. All you need is a sac fly, ground out to the other side. No, nothing.
Just a ground ball up the middle. You don't need anything.
Yeah, put the ball in play.
And and I normally hate the terminology "put the ball in play" because it typically lends to ground outs, which DJ LeMahieu has brought no shortage of. I mean, DJ LeMahieu is just, God, you want to talk about a guy who's fallen off.
174, 449 OPS.
Not a single extra
good.
base hit.
Not good.
This guy sucks. I was gonna come in here and go in guns a-blazing. Like I warned you. It's like I might be coming in hot.
Yeah, no.
But like
I don't blame you.
I can't bring myself to get myself worked up about this team anymore. It's the same thing. Like if I would get worked up if I was surprised. Like I'm not happy, but it's just a sense of being disheartened. It's like I partially expected this to happen. Like even when they were doing well, I was like, this has happened before. And I don't know, it's like they need to make so many changes. They need to replace first base, which Ben Rice has looked
decent.
Good. He's looked decent. And then, of course, they find a way to screw that up by trading for J.D. Davis instead of putting him at third to replace your geriatric fart of a player. You instead take one of the very few promising parts of the bottom 2/3 of your lineup and you put him on the bench and make him a platoon bat.
Why?
That is
why?
Because they're the Yankees. They're the Yankees, and that's a derogatory thing to say now. Being the Yankees does not mean what it once meant. Being the Yankees used to be synonymous with winning and success. Now the Yankees are synonymous, at least within their own fan base.
You got the wrong Steinbrenner in the front office now.
The Yankees now are synonymous with making boneheaded decisions, being stuck in their ways, and not making the decisions that they need to make. And I look at the decisions that need to be made here. I see a second baseman who doesn't care, a guy who's not busting it out of the box after your captain hit a grand slam to single-handedly bring you back into the game. not busting it out of the box and then deflecting, saying, "Oh, I have a groin issue." You have a first base platoon that is being grossly mismanaged, and you have a geriatric third baseman, and you have a DH who is at best a pinch runner. And on top of all that, no, I'm going to go even further. You have a catcher who can't throw.
Like, literally can't throw.
And on top of all that, you have a manager and a GM, the people who are in charge of making decisions, going out there and saying that this is our best shot at winning. I can't look at that. I'm not going to be confident seeing that. I can't. And on top, you have a terrible bullpen.
I was like, you're forgetting about the bullpen. It's like, no,
you have a terrible bullpen too, and I mean, it's just the same thing. It's the same goddamn thing.
All right.
Every year.
A lot of problems. What do you fix first?
Take your pick.
Brian Cashman decided, I'm stepping aside. We've appointed our new general manager, Cameron Woolley of the Cameron Woolley Show.
Okay.
From New Jersey. Student at Ionia College up in, New
Rochelle.
New Rochelle, New York. He's a genius mind. We heard the show this time. We heard the show. We love it. We love
Hal Steinbrenner. If Hal Steinbrenner ever listened to this show, he'd hate me.
It's a fresh new voice. We didn't agree with him before, but now we're seeing some things that could work, and he's accepted a fraction of Brian Cashman's salary that we will put toward the players.
I'll do that for free.
Okay, fine. He has offered to work for free.
I'll do it for free.
He has offered to work for free. We're going to put that money toward the players' salaries to improve this team. What's your first move?
Can it be anything?
Sure, you're the GM. Now you're gonna
Aaron Boone gets canned.
Okay, and replaced by.
I think Boone gets canned and gets replaced by
Buck Showalter. He's out there.
No, not Buck. Literally anybody else. Anybody else. Just any new voice.
Right.
Any new voice.
A new voice. All right, someone younger, hungrier, former player, maybe, perhaps.
I maybe go out there and give. You know what? What I'd do, I would convince Anthony Rizzo to retire, and I'd make Rizzo the manager.
Oh, okay, good baseball mind.
I would not mind.
Okay, shocking move, but
I would actually no,
okay.
No Rizzo.
Okay,
no Rizzo. I take that back. He has been accepting of this losing culture for a while.
Yes.
I want someone who is going to kick these players in the ass.
Yes.
And make them feel a little bad for the way they've gotten punked by every single rival.
Okay.
At every single turn. I don't know who that is.
Okay, he's out there.
That person is out there. Maybe Brad Osmus, I think.
Oh yeah,
he's the Yankee bench coach. I go out there and I get somebody different. Do I hire Joe Girardi back? Maybe.
I was gonna jokingly say that, but hey.
Or maybe Todd Frazier.
Todd
Frazier. Maybe I just make Todd Frazier the manager.
Yeah.
Boom. Again, it's sort of a crapshoot, but there's sort of a compromise there. I'm fine with making Todd Frazier manager.
Okay.
He's passionate about the Yankees. He sounds great in the yes booth.
Yeah. Okay.
I replace Todd Frazier in the yes booth with Billy Crystal because Billy Crystal just loves talking. Dude, I heard him during
He knows the game.
I heard him during the Yankee Angel series.
I
heard him in the booth during the Yankee Angel series where he did a couple innings.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
He genuinely sounded. He knows a lot.
Yeah.
About baseball. You've seen 61.
Yeah.
Right? That is probably one of the more historically accurate baseball movies ever.
Yeah.
Because that guy knows everything about this team. He knows everything. So I don't know why. This has nothing to do with operations.
Yeah, guy can great Oscars host. So yes. Okay.
But
Okay.
In terms of player
New manager,
personnel,
start from the top.
in terms of player personnel, I put any and all prospects on the table. I
All of them.
get Gleyber Torres the hell out of here as soon as I can. I trade him to the White Sox. I don't care what I get back.
You'll get something
Like,
back from them.
I don't care what I get back.
They're in sell mode.
I banish Gleyber Torres to the White Sox. He cannot be on this team anymore.
Okay, yet another sucky Yankee player going to the AL Central. Okay. A.K.A. Gary
I
Sanchez.
probably I just DFA DJ LeMahieu.
No, jeez, what do they owe him?
A lot. They just Ellsbury him.
Okay. Well, you've kindly agreed to waive your salary, so that'll fill
No,
in
you
that
can
hole.
put a portion of my salary toward
toward the
DJ
DFA.
LeMahieu.
Okay.
I then temporarily for now I take JD Davis and I stick him at third and I make Ben Rice the full-time first baseman.
Okay, that's a good move.
As
Yeah,
for
you're
the
right. He's playing
for
great.
the second baseman, I try to patch together an offer to the Angels for Luis Renifo, who's been solid. He's a Yankee target. He's a guy who we can realistically get.
Yeah, another team who's probably in sell mode right now, although they're not terribly far from the wild card. I don't believe, but
The American League is more out there. Yeah, they're 10 games back.
okay, never mind. They're in sell mode. Okay, never mind. I take that.
I take whatever I can get. I try to piece together an offer. No, for the catcher position, I make an offer to the Oakland A's, and I did my research on this. I do whatever it takes, whatever package of magic beans I need to put together to bring Shea Langoliers to the Bronx.
Okay.
He's a decent enough hitter. He has a lot of red on his baseball savant page, and he has a cannon. So he's just gonna be our catcher.
Okay. Instantly improved the team
And then
without giving up a lot, really.
And then I do whatever I can. I trade for at least 4 relievers. I get at least 4 of them in this bullpen. However many it takes to knock Clay Holmes down the ladder a couple of spots. I need somebody who misses bats. I need people who don't let traffic on the bases.
Right.
And on losing teams, you will find a lot of relievers who can do that. You could probably get 3 of them off any bad team right now. It's because teams are always looking to dump relievers.
Yeah, a lot of relievers out there. Left-handed, right-handed, whatever. Guys who can get guys out, not put people on base in the ninth inning. And blow leads.
And for now, that's what I do. Like, immediately what I do. I try to put together some package for Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
He can play anywhere in this infield where there are needs.
When was the last time a team fired a manager while they were in first place?
Oh, no, like...
It's a bold move. It's a bold move, though.
It's a different sport.
This is how winners get built.
I mean, I know it's a different sport, but the Devils did it a lot. I mean, 2000, they fired Robbie Fatorik.
Okay, good point.
And then
it worked.
They brought in Larry Robinson.
It worked.
They
won the cup.
They went 500 for the rest of the year, and then they won the cup.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I mean, that seemed to work out well for Lou Lamoriello.
Yeah. That would be a pretty bold move. Getting rid of Boone. But if you want to win, sometimes you got to take risks.
And which is something that this team hasn't done, is take risks.
Yeah,
The player development people, they can stay.
Okay.
They develop good prospects with intrinsic value.
Right.
The player development people, they can do whatever. The people who are doing a good job, I keep my hands off of them.
Yeah.
Like, they do fine. Matt Blake, I don't interfere with anything he does. He comes to me with a suggestion for a guy to get. I try to make it work. Because I completely trust him with whatever he wants. Whatever he wants, I'm fully supporting him.
Yeah.
And I just listed out what I'd what I do with this lineup, at least immediately.
Okay. I mean, a couple bold moves in there, but I think you've improved the team.
And my point is, these moves that take balls, you're not gonna get that from Brian Cashman.
No.
They're not gonna shake up the status quo.
No. You will get that from Cameron Woolley, though. So,
I mean, they're not doing what needs to be done, and that's ultimately why I can't, like, sure, I'll talk about them, I'll cover them, and I initially wanted to come in here screaming and banging my fist on this table and doing the same routine that I've done for the last few years, but to be honest, I don't feel the juice, because this just sort of happens every year, and it's a miracle that the Yankees have actually gained on the Orioles. Like, they've gained a game and a half since
they have.
Since losing that series. It's do I think that's going to last? Absolutely not. But
I don't know, man. The Orioles are playing like they're never going to win a game again right now. So after that thrilling Cameron Woolley show series, the Orioles go on to lose 5 in a row.
I mean, that is just. I'd be livid if you were winning games, and that was when the Yankees were winning. You couldn't gain any ground.
Yeah, this is it, man. The momentum in our favor, and I mean, luckily the Yankees have lost a couple as well. But yes, you've gained a whole game and a half, which could be put into play in late September.
It's like I'm gonna say this.
Okay,
I'm gonna leave the Yankees with this.
Okay.
I do think they are going to eventually right the ship in the regular season, at least in terms of they're not going to be losing this much for the rest of the year. They're going to go on some good stretches again. They're probably going to make some moves at the trade deadline that leave me a little optimistic. They're going to bring some juice back into this fan base, and I'm going to get suckered right back in, despite me having absolutely no faith, despite everything telling me that this is not going to happen.
You've seen it before.
The fact that I've seen this before, I am going to get suckered back in, and then they're probably going to finish at around 95 to 100 wins.
Good enough for the division. Wild card for sure.
They're going to make the playoffs. They might win the division. They're going to luck into a matchup with some crappy AL Central team. They're going to barely beat them, and then they're going to get squashed by a team that's actually good. Do not know who that is yet, whether that's Baltimore or Seattle or Houston. Whoever that is, this is how it happens. This is just how it happens. And I guarantee, verbatim, this is what's going to happen. You can go back to this at season's end. I might even clip this.
Okay.
Verbatim.
Okay.
This is what's going to happen.
June 26th. You heard it here first.
June 26th. I'm
2024.
I'm predicting the rest of the Yankee season.
Okay.
It's how it goes. That's how it goes. I'm looking at this as rationally and as pragmatically as I can.
Yes.
Just looking at it, looking at past performance. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, you do have a 4-game series against the Blue Jays coming up.
Who knows?
Now,
I mean, who knows? Maybe they win
this weekend. Then I'd start getting really worried.
I mean, maybe they're probably gonna win that series against Toronto, and we're gonna act like this whole stretch never happened,
right.
And then they got 3 against the Reds, and then the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. They'll probably right the ship within the next week and a half, and then all the events that I said are gonna play out are gonna play out. We're gonna get suckered back in. We're gonna have a decent enough trade deadline. There's going to be some needle-moving piece that, or at least we think is a needle-moving piece that we're going to get, and then we're going to get all excited, and then they're going to make it to the playoffs. They're going to beat an AL Central team, and then they're going to get their asses handed to them. That's just how it goes. Plain and simple. Now, I don't even know if I'm going to watch the All-Star game this year. It's like there are going to be a bunch of Yankees in it.
There are, yes. Well, Soto, Judge.
It's probably just going to be Soto, Judge. Heel's probably going to get an appearance.
Yeah.
Maybe you get a bit of Anthony Volpe. I don't know.
Yeah. But at first base, Ryan Mountcastle's overtaken Vlad Guerrero Jr. Which,
Thank God.
Which just makes me happy to no end. We did our votes last week. If you need to recap, Jose Altuve is leading second base. No surprise there. Jose Ramirez at third. No surprise there. Shortstop Gunnar Henderson. Also no surprise. So outfield top three: Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker. With Stephen Kwan, not that far behind, and Anthony Santander the wild card shot to maybe, although he's 200,000 votes behind. And catcher Adley Rutschman. So, yeah, stacked with birds, man. This is
you guys are.
This is good.
You guys are the best team in the American League.
I love it.
Opinion.
We'll see if they ever win a game. That will be true. But they have not lost 5 in a row. In the Adley Rutschman era, so slightly concerning.
Here's the thing. You guys are going to make the necessary changes.
Yeah, Mike Elias is a pretty good GM, tends to make some good moves. But, I mean, made a couple of questionable signings at the deadline last year. That Shintaro Fujinami, not that didn't really pan out. That dude who's killing it for the Tigers now. Can't remember his name right now, but he didn't really work out either. So, but I hear you. DH Yordan Alvarez with a healthy lead. National League, Bryce Harper leading at first base.
That makes sense.
Ketel Marte with a slight lead over Luis Arraez for second at second base. Alex Bohm with the runaway third base votes.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, who is hurt, at shortstop. Trey Turner falling behind him. Outfield, Jerskin Profar, Christian Yelich, and Teoscar Hernandez.
I think that was our...
Yeah, with Tatis not that far behind. So catcher, William Contreras. DH Shohei Ohtani, no surprise there. And yeah, I think that was pretty much what we voted last week for the most part. Shohei killing it. He's on a 9-game RBI streak. The longest since Roy Campanella in 1955.
Wow.
So
going back to the Cold War.
Like almost World War II. Yeah. So say what you will about that signing. It's worked out. Do you think he'll pitch again?
I mean,
because he's definitely hitting better without the distractions of throwing the ball every five days.
I mean,
great pitcher though.
If he wants to,
and
he probably wants to pitch. They're going to try to make him pitch again with the amount of money they're paying him. They're going to try to force him back out there.
Can't risk that kind of that wear and tear in the injury.
They're going to try to.
And not only that, no one ever thinks that like the mental game. The mental game is...
It doesn't matter. They're still going to try.
He doesn't need to pitch ever again. Like maybe later on.
Here's that. If he doesn't pitch again, that takes him out of the running for the GOAT title.
So that's what he's playing for right now.
If he doesn't pitch again, that takes him out. He's the only guy, in my opinion, who had a case to overtake Babe Ruth, and that's
Sure.
only because he pitched at
Yeah.
a high level. If he never pitches again, that just doesn't
So
happen.
be it. But I mean, I know he's healing from the UCL, but that thing's gonna snap again. Like that's just how it is. I mean, if they're lucky, it holds up until the end of his career, but
His second Tommy John surgery.
it's not. It's not good. With all the technology they have now and whatever the sheath thingy or I don't know all that stuff I've been reading about, it's still
Some of the stuff from Neil Ella trash.
right. It's still like a human. It's a piece of meat, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a long piece of meat that after you throw
I mean, it turns into pulled pork. That's what it
that.
turns into.
Yes, and then it turns into shredded pork. But yes, yeah. I don't know. I was like, man, does that guy ever have to throw a pitch again? Yeah, you're right. If he wants to overtake the Babe Ruth title, he can throw a few more balls, but. Well, I mean, even Babe Ruth didn't pitch his whole career, so.
And yeah, but he's still put together a
awesome wrestler. Yeah,
Hall of Fame. If Babe Ruth,
on both sides of the
I mean, here's my point for why I think Babe Ruth is the GOAT. I don't care if he played in the teens and 20s, but
right, dead balls, all that stuff. But yeah,
I mean, if he pitched for his entire career, he would have been a Hall of Famer.
Just pitching.
If he never took a single at-bat in his
Yes.
life and stuck to pitching, he would have been a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, agreed. Just so happens he had a really good bat too. So
He didn't start hitting until a few years into his career.
yeah, crazy. Luis Hill.
I mean, I'm partially concerned about him. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't.
I'm also not gonna lie and say seeing him get drubbed in 1.1 innings last week
Felt good.
made me very happy. 8 earned runs. I think I was flying to Seattle on that day, and then when I landed, I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I think they're in the second and third inning. O's were up like 8, whatever.
Yeah.
It felt really good. I'm also not going to lie again. I was very worried about that game. Yeah, didn't think they would score any runs off of him.
They claimed Victor Gonzalez off waivers.
Oh, okay.
The guy who plunked Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah. Who claimed him?
Baltimore.
Oh, welcome to Baltimore, Victor. Which, wow. This just happened? Wow, shocking turn of events.
I just saw it on Twitter.
Shocking turn of events. Which, that looked pretty intentional. And, ironically enough, Gunnar Henderson came around to score, which kind of made a difference in a one-run ball game last week. Yeah, you got to love it. You got to love it. Well, welcome to Camden Yards, Victor Gonzalez. I mean, they can use him. They can use him. Bullpen, not terrible, but can definitely use some work for sure. So, I mean, you don't seem too broken up that they DFA'd him after that game.
I don't care.
And and he passed through waivers far down enough for Baltimore to claim him. So, will he come up in a clutch situation against the Yankees?
Yes.
Probably.
Will he deliver?
Yes. Will he, strike out Juan Soto and Aaron Judge at some
In a playoff game? Absolutely.
in a playoff game, in a one-run crucial playoff game? Yeah, that's. Again, we're making predictions today.
Yeah.
Some which may seem wild at the time, until they come.
They
true
aren't.
later on. Well, welcome to Baltimore, Victor Gonzalez. Baseball, man. Baseball, man. You gotta love it.
It's baseball, Susan.
You gotta love it.
All right.
You gotta love it.
I feel like we've talked baseball.
Okay.
How about we talk some? We talk some puck.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations to the Florida Panthers for staving off becoming the biggest meme in American sports history. and winning the Stanley Cup in Game 7 on home ice.
Yes.
That team is a wagon. That team deserves it. They play a very strong, sound, structured game that I can only dream of my team playing.
I every time hated when the Devils played the Panthers. And number one, but yes, one, congratulations. You held off a very good team in a close game. Two, you knocked out the Rangers. Now we eternally
we owe you.
We owe you one. I don't know how
we owe you one.
I don't know how we're gonna pay this back, but we do owe you one.
Probably a painful playoff series with them. That's in the cards at some point.
That's gonna happen.
We're gonna end up in like the conference final with the Florida Panthers, and they're gonna rip our hearts out.
That's probably gonna
like they do to everybody.
Yeah.
This team's just a wagon. I tell you, where the hell did they come from, man? Like,
I don't know. That's the other thing.
This is such.
But you're right. They played solid hockey.
I mean, this is just.
It worked.
And I'm talking like just in general. A few years ago, they were an afterthought. We didn't really view the Florida Panthers
as a threat. No, not at all.
As even like a class organization.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they win the President's Trophy a couple years ago, and then they lose in the second round to Tampa, and we're like, okay, yep,
whatever,
Lowell President's Trophy.
Yeah, yep.
And then they end up sputtering out of the gate last year, and that's okay. The Florida Panthers are back to being the Florida Panthers,
right.
And then they rally, make the playoffs. They make a joke out of the Bruins, who won 65 games that year.
Yep.
And then they beat the Leafs, which is not that much of an accomplishment.
No,
but
still.
And then they beat the Hurricanes in the conference final, which kind of everybody does. And it sounds like I'm discrediting them, but really, this team sort of just came out of nowhere, and then they got their asses kicked by Vegas in the Cup final.
Yeah.
They come back next year with that playoff experience. They win their division.
Yeah, and they make it back. That's not easy.
They win their division. They take out the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is not easy to do.
Nope.
Like, think about how hard that road was. They took out Tampa Bay with Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah.
I mean, who quietly put together an absurd season.
Yeah.
They took him out, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are always a tough customer in the spring. They follow that up by beating the Bruins, who are, kind of tough to play against.
Yeah, always.
Riding a little bit of momentum. Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah, a wall, yes. A wall.
And in the conference final, they took out the President's Trophy winners who found ways to just beat everybody. And you figured out how to beat them. And then the Cup final, you played against the best player on the planet. And then you go up 3-0, and then you end up, you're on the verge of getting reverse swept. The game's tied after the first period, and then you're up 1, and then you park the bus, and Sergei Bobrovsky, and he sort of let Edmonton back in, but then he shut them out. Well, not literally, but but he
shut him down. He shut him down for the last 2 periods.
Like, he just stood on his head. He made so many timely saves, and well-deserved first Cup for him.
Yeah.
That contract, that was scorned at the time, and the first couple years, everyone was thinking about, when the hell are they going to buy this guy out? He ends up...
I brought you a cup. Help bring you a cup.
Bring you a cup. Doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Columbus, but yes, help bring you a cup for sure.
Doesn't matter what happens from this point forward with him and his career. This one run makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
That albatross of a deal, it's worth it after that.
Yeah.
Also, congratulations to Sasha Barkov, the first Finnish captain to ever hoist the Stanley Cup. I mean, I've always raved about Barkov. I love his game. I would take him on the Devils in a heartbeat. A penalty kill unit of him and Nico Hischier would just... I would feed families in this state for
Yeah.
generations.
Yeah.
And so deserved for him. And on top of the other guys that they got, I mean, this is a great just team. Not to mention Sam Reinhart and Carter Verhaeghe answering the call at every moment. That line, Verhaeghe, Barkov, Reinhart, just amazing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not to mention other depth pieces like Sam Bennett, Anton Lundell, Evan Rodriguez.
Yep. They got Tkachuk in there. You got
Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, good
Matthew
Tkachuk.
Tkachuk, by the way.
Yeah, come on.
I mean,
Love him or hate him. He's a great player.
and Aaron Ekblad, who's been there forever. Gustav Forsling. Dmitry Kulikov. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Itu Luostarinen. Just so many players.
Yeah.
Kyle Opozo, who we're familiar with from his days at the New York Islanders, winning the Stanley Cup. I mean, this just an amazing. We're gonna look back on this team and we're gonna think, wow,
Yeah. Great team.
this was just a group. They were a unit.
Yeah. But great
And
team.
not to mention also Brendan Montour. I can't believe I'm forgetting about him, but he was amazing. Just cast-offs. A group of cast-offs from other teams. I mean, Barkov and Ekblad are the only ones who were really career Panthers.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky was let go in free agency. Lundell was let go. Rodriguez was let go. Montour was let go. Ekman-Larsson was let go a couple times. Sam Bennett was let go. I mean, Sam Reinhart was let go. Carter Verhaeghe was let go. Kyle Opozo was let go. Gustav Forsling was a waiver claim, and he ended up being arguably their best defenseman in this entire playoff run.
Yeah. So any kids watching out there, don't give up. Don't give up. You never know.
I mean, it is just I aspire for the Devils to be like this. Man, just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, and I love what they did.
Yeah.
And
So,
this absolutely deserves it. And if you see the bender that they're going on, they're enjoying it.
oh yeah, they're drinking out of that cup like.
They're drinking out of the cup. And not to mention, by the way, they're in South Beach.
Oh yeah, Party
South
City.
Beach. They're
Party
in Miami.
town.
They're going to be, that thing's going to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
Key West. It's going everywhere.
Like every single exclusive, hard to get in nightclub.
Right.
And that thing's going to Vice City from GTA.
Yeah, GTA. It's going to GTA Vice City.
I mean, that team, I guarantee, has not been sober since they got in the locker room
I wouldn't be either.
and won that cup. I mean, I know I wouldn't be.
Yeah, gotta love it.
I don't care if I'm underage.
Yeah. Gotta be. And cross another first-time Stanley Cup winner off the list. Team-wise.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
The remaining teams in the league. Hold on. Go into the NHL standings real quick if you can find them. I'm gonna go through the teams who haven't won
Okay.
a Stanley Cup.
Give me standings. Let's see if this works. Ooh.
Average Ming Chen typing mistake.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
In terms of teams that have yet to win a Stanley Cup, let's scroll down through the East. The Buffalo Sabres, the Ottawa Senators, and the Columbus Blue Jackets
Okay.
are the teams in the East that have yet to win a cup in their franchise history. In the West, the Winnipeg Jets.
Yes.
The Nashville Predators.
2.
The Minnesota Wild.
Yes.
Do you want to count the Seattle
Yes.
Kraken?
It counts.
Sure. The Utah Hockey Club
yes.
and the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
There's still
There's still a few.
quite a few, a lot more than I thought,
Still a few.
who haven't won a Stanley Cup.
Still a few. But it's hockey. It's very hard.
I mean, and as for a lot of teams that may as well have never won a Stanley Cup, like the Leafs.
Yeah.
Like the Leafs, the Islanders, the Flyers.
Yeah, we don't care.
Like any team that won a cup before 1990, you may as well just cross them off that list.
Yeah. So we talked about this last week. Conn Smythe winner, Connor McDavid.
Do you even like want it at that point?
Well, he didn't come out to accept it in person.
I can't blame him.
Some people took as a snub or maybe unsportsmanlike.
What do you mean unsportsmanlike?
But what do you want him to do? Come out not on home. If it
was on home ice, then yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. I guess then you got at least you don't have a whole stadium booing you. Although there were a lot of Oilers fans in that stadium.
They were
I think the big joke was a lot of Panthers fans sold their playoff tickets to fund their next season ticket packages for next year.
Season tickets.
Smart, but
it's smart.
But you weren't in the building. At what price?
Do not care.
That's a big price.
I do not care how much money you'd make.
Yeah, you're not a fan.
I would regret that decision for the rest of my life.
You're not a real fan then.
Yeah, like you're not a real fan. Also, I did not hear enough booing of Gary Bettman. I did not hear
during the presentation.
I did not hear nearly enough booing of Gary Bettman, and I guess that's a bit of a badge of badge of legitimacy for an NHL fan base.
There's only way I explain it. One, South Florida, they don't care. They're a South Florida team. Two, all the Oilers, they're Canadian. They're too nice.
Dude, Canadian fans hate Gary Bettman.
They do. You're right.
Canadian fans think Gary Bettman. They think Gary Bettman is the reason that their country hasn't brought home a Stanley Cup in 31 years.
They might not be wrong. They might not be wrong.
I think it's because Canadian hockey thinking is archaic.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But yeah, so tough place to be in. You win the Conn Smythe, but your team just lost the cup. Yeah, you're not coming out to get it. But
you remember we brought it up last week.
Well, yeah.
John Sebastian Giguère, he looked like he wanted to die when he took that Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, if I were, say it was the Devils who won the cup over the Oilers and McDavid still won the cup. If I was in the building, I'd give an ovation to McDavid. Because I'm a good sport.
Sure.
And I wouldn't care. Like, sure, if Jack Hughes won a nice long run, or like Dougie Hamilton. Like, say Dougie Hamilton was in the running for the Conn Smythe, I would have, and like, sure, would I have liked a Devil to win it? Sure. But if McDavid won it, I would be classy. I would clap. I'd save my booing for the jackass who's announcing the award.
Sure.
Dude, if the Devils ever win the cup at the Rock again.
Bettman comes out.
Bettman's going to have he's going to have a barrage of half-frozen chicken tenders thrown at him.
Yes.
Like chicken tenders, beer, Miss Fields cookies.
Right. Yeah. Two for $10. They're going on the ice.
Yeah.
Those are projectiles.
I mean, not to mention that stadium's not going to be sober.
No.
Like half the people in that place, especially if it's a blowout, they're going to be like 6 beers deep by the third period.
We'll buy a lot of beer at that if I'm lucky enough to be at that game.
Yeah.
When it happens.
Like next year, I'm going to be 21 next year.
Oh yeah.
Which if I'm at that game, which I would strongly consider going to.
Okay, yeah, we'll Uber up to the game or take the train. The train. Can you imagine the train going back?
Oh
afterwards?
My God, that would be the greatest train ride ever.
Back to Little Silver.
Man, that would be the great. Everyone, I don't think I would ever high five or hug as many strangers.
Yeah, we'll be packed in there like sardines.
Life.
Happy.
I mean, the people are going to be their paper mache Stanley Cups that they made at home.
Yep.
The rally towels.
Yep.
People are probably throwing up all over the place.
Sure, we don't care though. Nobody cares.
I mean, nobody cares. Everyone's happy. Yeah. Everyone's hugging each other. I might even kiss somebody.
Right, sure. It's the cup.
Dude,
it's for the cup.
If the Devils won the Stanley Cup, I'd make out with a stranger.
Sure.
I'd do it.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, it's like I'd do it. We'd be the happiest we've ever been
Yep.
if the Devils won the Stanley Cup. And not to mention we'd go up for the. I wish they still played in the Meadowlands because that parking lot parade would have been awesome.
Can't do that again.
Because like, but that's part of the. But that was part of the charm, dude.
I guess, yes.
The parking lot parade, because you could tailgate. You could tailgate.
Could
the Stanley Cup parade.
Yes.
You could park your car there at like 6 a.m. Have a cooler.
Right. Chicken wings. I mean, barbecue.
You have your wings.
Hot dogs.
I mean, you're grilling every single ounce of meat that you can get your hands on that grill. You're having fun. You're probably blasting the Springsteen or Bon Jovi or whatever.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Right.
I mean, they'd probably bring James Gandolfini back from the dead.
Yep. Yeah. They dig him up. Yeah.
I think he's canonically a Devils fan, right? I think
he's in the Devil hype video during the games. Yes, he has to be. He represents our state. Yes, absolutely.
I know the narrator for the Devils hype video in 2023 was Commissioner Gordon from Twilight Batman.
Yeah,
which I thought that was pretty cool.
No, it was cool.
Although now I want them so badly. If the Devils are there, I want their next narrator for their hype video to be Michael Imperioli.
Oh yeah,
somebody from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
If Tony Sirico were still alive, I'd want him to do it. If James Gandolfini were still alive, I'd want him to do it.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, he narrated one of the Super Bowl 42. I think the America's Game documentary for Super Bowl 42.
Yeah,
he narrated that one.
Yeah,
if the Devils win the cup, I want that celebration to be as stereotypical as you can get it. Like again, this is why I wish they still played in the Meadowlands. You could have the trashy parking lot. You could have somebody bring an inflatable pool.
Yep. Yeah.
Lawn chairs. Everyone's making pork roll, egg and cheeses.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone's bringing bagels. Like I want the most Jersey. There's
celebration.
There's you have a prop up spray tan station right there. You deck out the entire thing because it would be the biggest party that you could ever imagine.
No.
Aside from any of the New York teams winning a championship, or any Canadian hockey team winning a championship. I think if the Leafs won the Stanley Cup, that parade would be the craziest parade in the history of all parades.
They would run out of Labatt Blue in
they would
in Canada. Yeah,
they'd run out of. Molson Canadian would face a shortage that would affect them for years.
They would.
You would have to deal with. Now, I don't know if you could get Drake to play it anymore.
Why not? Why not?
Have you heard the song "Not Like Us" from Kendrick Lamar? That completely ruined his reputation.
Yeah, I guess so, but
I don't know if no Drake. I wouldn't want Drake at that.
Right.
And I'm thinking, this is fun to think about different teams' Stanley Cup parades.
Canada, ours especially, but yes.
Canada would just be shut down. New York, you want to talk about if the Yankees win the World Series? You think I'm not going to be front and center at that party?
I think you'll be the Canyon of Champions, yes.
I would. That would be. Although there's not a lot of room to party there. If you have a parking lot, a parking lot parade, you can DIY that.
Sure. Yeah, down.
They just drive a pickup. They just drove a pickup truck around.
Open it and
and then they just drove a Ford F-150 around the parking lot. They were just hoisting the cup. It was a homey feeling. From what I can gather, it was an intimate feeling.
I wasn't there. But
it's not a. I wouldn't. I'd assume it's not like a larger than life thing. It's a little tight, niche little group.
It's pretty awesome. Now we got grilled mercilessly for that.
I mean,
for the parking lot celebration.
Especially comparing the year before the Rangers and
Sure.
the Canyon Heroes. But you don't care because you know what? We had 2 more parking lot parades after that.
Yeah.
Although if the Devils win the Cup, it's probably going to be a parade in like Hoboken or Jersey City, which would still be a blast.
Yeah.
Or it would. Oh, God,
I love it not in Newark though.
Don't do it in Newark. Don't do it in Newark.
People start shooting guns.
I mean, I would not want to. If you think if the Knicks win a championship, there's not going to be people shooting off there.
Yeah, I just
everybody there's got a piece.
Right. We don't need any fatalities for a celebration, though. That's the point. No fatalities.
I mean, in terms of places to die, there I can think of worse places to die.
Oh, yeah. At least die happy, get hit by a stray bullet.
It's sticking with the Sopranos references. We probably don't even hear it when it happens.
Yeah, right. Just goes black.
Like, all you'd be feeling is just happiness.
Right.
The happiest that you will probably ever feel. As I think the only better feeling the only unanimously better feeling that I could think of than my sports team winning a championship would be like the birth of my kid.
Right.
The hypothetical birth of my hypothetical kid.
Sure. Your future child.
I would not even put my wedding day
About that.
ahead of it yet. And
okay.
I
cool.
hope my future serious girlfriend, whenever God decides to bless me with that.
Right.
I mean, I hope to God she doesn't see that or hear what I just said.
Sure.
Because that
even though we just put this on record.
I mean, we just put it on record. I don't care because it's how I feel.
Yeah. No, I get it. I hear you. For sure. Well, the hockey in 4 months. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the quick offseason. Dude, we're going to be getting in but when's the draft? No,
it's
tomorrow night is the draft.
Yep.
Tomorrow night or Friday night is the draft.
Speaking of the draft, this is the mock draft that I pulled up
and the
from,
the Devils are having their draft party in Oceanport.
Oh, really?
You know that little...
Oh, the new place, right? Are they doing it there?
Yeah, they're doing it there.
Whatever, something central? Yeah, I haven't been over there yet, but... over in Fort Monmouth.
I know they do a lot of stuff there. I mean,
they had the Aaron Boone Q&A there that you didn't go to.
I live
you could walk there.
I could walk there.
Yeah. Baseline Social.
Yeah.
Shout out to Baseline Social.
I live 5 minutes away from that place.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's tickets. I don't know if they're sold out.
I don't
know, but
I'm not in town.
I don't know anybody who's going. So
yeah,
I thought about
we gotta go to one of these things though.
And I thought about going in 2022 when they had it at the Stone Pony.
Yeah, we both did.
I mean, we thought about, and Dougie Hamilton showed up.
Yeah, it would have been cool. Yeah, Baseline Social. Let's see. It's probably here. They have the finals. They do a lot.
More.
They do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, New Jersey Devils draft party.
Friday, June 28th. This Friday, 6 p.m.
Free parking is available. I mean,
they got a lot of. It's Fort Monmouth. They got plenty of parking over there now.
But Voyagers used to be there, so I know what that place looks like better than a few people.
Yep, I have the chance to mingle with Devils alumni and win cool prizes. So if I was actually in town,
if you were in town, I'd go to this in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd totally go there. I'm sure the food's pretty good.
From what I've heard, yes.
And there's a lot of contention about the Devils draft pick. Maybe I'm leaning towards some. Let's get into some Devils offseason speculation because.
Okay, they got the 10th pick.
Next week, a bunch of the decisions are already going to be made.
Right.
So, I don't know. What do you want them to do with this pick? I'm going to kick it to you first.
I mean, currently, right now, I know they just got a decent goaltender. But he's not going to save everything. I see a lot of holes in the defense. I'd like to pick up a good D-man. I mean, some couple wingers went hurt as well, but we've seen a lot of our defense make a lot of questionable decisions. That's what I've been going for, but that's why I'm not GM. What are you looking at?
I want to flip that 10th overall pick, and
so you're smarter than I am because that's probably the best idea.
Like
and get what for it?
I have a trade in mind. I can envision it now. The Winnipeg Jets. I think they want to get back like higher in the first round. This is the first time I've heard speculation of teams trading up in the draft.
Okay.
The 10th overall pick is a very valuable asset, especially to hockey GMs who think they're the smartest people on earth and they think they can draft Gretzky with that pick. You offer a third to a GM and they think they'll draft Gretzky.
Right.
But you take... I take that 10th overall pick. I offer it to the Winnipeg Jets. This is who I put on the table.
Okay.
I put Nikolai Ehlers on the table. There's some speculation about him being traded. He's a superstar left winger. I think that would be a very sound decision. Now, does it go through 1-for-1? I doubt it. But if you want to add more pieces,
who else are you throwing in
to the equation? Maybe I throw in like a B prospect for the Devils, or like a third rounder a few years from now or something. And I bring back University of Michigan player who's another college free agent who's going to be doing these exploiting that weird loophole.
Yeah.
I bring Rutger McGroarty back as well. Nikolai Ehlers and Rutger McGroarty for the 10th overall pick. And you can probably throw Seamus Casey in there. Because we have a surplus of right-handed defensemen.
Hey, good point.
We're probably going to sign Brett Pesce in free agency, too. Like, I'll get to him. I feel like I'm very, very intrigued. I'm interested and I'm excited to see what this team does. Because there are a lot of moving pieces that can be set in motion. Brett Pesce has been connected to the Devils. I think that's the only team Pesce's been connected to.
Right.
He's an upcoming free agent from the Carolina Hurricanes. There's a little question as to where he'll play, whether he'll play the left side with Dougie Hamilton like he did in Carolina, or will he go on the right side, thus making John Marino the odd man out in a trade, or a larger scale trade for a big time forward.
Yeah.
Which I would also love to see. There are some, although granted, I'd be perfectly fine with keeping John Marino where he is. You put Pesce on the top pairing with Hamilton. You move Siegenthaler down with Nemitz, and you put Marino with Luke Hughes.
Yeah.
The two kids having another year of experience with some hopefully fundamentally sound defensemen. I am a little bit skeptical of Siegenthaler because he did have a down year last year, and I don't like that. This is how I operate personally. I don't like banking on bounce backs. I hate when teams and this is
blame you.
This is what's driven me nuts about the Yankees. They bank on players who don't have a recent track record of playing well.
Right. And they'll pick it back up this year, and then they don't.
Yeah,
or they're worse.
Banking on them to bounce back. I have more faith in Siegenthaler, and like hockey is a generally more volatile sport. So I'd be fine trusting Siegenthaler in a bit of a less responsible role, especially when you put him in Nemitz, who is a bit more defensively aware than Dougie Hamilton, because Dougie Hamilton's just a point guard. That's his whole thing. He's there to drive offense and clap bombs. Like that's why I call him a point guard. He's not a defenseman. He's there to drive offense.
Yeah, and we missed him, but yes.
Yeah, dude, you
big
think,
time.
My
big
God,
time.
Dude, he's
big time. That'd be a solid move. Winnipeg, no first round pick this year, so take a pick on number 10, get a couple things back.
I would like Nikolai Ehlers. I think that would be that's my dream trade. I mean, Would I mind them keeping the pick? No, not really. I'd like to see the trade happen on draft night.
Yeah.
I just want to say, and if we were going to the draft party, we would hope to see a trade.
Right.
Because it would be
awesome.
insane. The Devils have done it before. Remember Corey Schneider?
I was there. I was at the Rock. They did at the Rock that year.
Yeah, you were.
I was
there
a gasp. And then like a silence. It was awesome. Well, it was awesome at the time.
I mean, and Corey Schneider, that was not his fault. That was not his fault. He was amazing. And then when the team started to kind of get their act together, his hip just
gave out.
Yeah, just
Gave out. What do you want?
Like his hip just doesn't work after that. So
yeah. Well, Friday. We'll see what happens.
And then after that, you got free agency. I love this free agent class. I was talking with my friend Luke Dolan from WIUR, who I do a show with at school. I was looking at the free agent class. I think there are so many directions the Devils can go. Granted, you still got to give that money to Dawson Mercer, but money in, you could send some money out with John Marino, especially if you sign Brett Pesce. There are a lot of middle to bottom six guys that you can scrap up in free agency. Like, I want them to go after Adam Henrique.
You mentioned that last week. Almost won a cup.
Dude,
he had a taste.
Dude,
he had a taste.
If that game went to overtime, I would have bet anything on Adam Henrique scoring. I would have bet anything on Adam Henrique scoring.
Talk about a guy who's been there before.
Dude, you want to talk about clutch?
Yes. He's been there twice, yes.
I think he has the NHL record for game-winning goals in elimination games in the Cup final.
Yeah. That would have been awesome.
Or game-winning goals in elimination games in playoffs.
Yeah.
Just like just somebody who you can count on.
Yes.
In big-time clutch situations. Yeah. And not to mention the hero's welcome he'd get here.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, dude, he would be hailed as... I mean, we love him here.
Yeah, missed him.
I mean,
sure.
I don't love retreads, but Henrique, you want to talk about a guy you can put on the third line, hell, even the fourth line, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you can put Eric Halla anywhere.
Right.
Like, you can put Halla on the first line, you can put him on the fourth line. Wherever you need him to go, he'll fit there like a glove.
That's why we love him so much. But Adam Henrique back with the Devils.
That would... I tried that. My dream offseason is...
Okay. Adam Henrique.
Trading for Nikolai Ehlers.
Okay.
Signing Brett Pesce and signing Adam Henrique.
Yeah.
If they do that, on top of the trade for Jacob Markstrom, I do think...
Pretty solid offseason.
I think that is a very solid offseason. Yeah. You patch up two very important parts of your middle six.
Yeah.
With Ehlers and Henrique, because Ehlers probably... I mean, with the top line, that's just Bratt, Heischer, and Meyer. I think that you don't mess with that. I think you just sort of let that happen. Like, Bratt and Heischer work well together. Meyer, when he's on the right side, when he's not coached by Lindy Ruff.
Right. On his more comfortable side, yes.
He works. That just works.
Yeah.
I don't mess around with that. It just works. Second line, you can do a lot with that second line. I think you can just put Ehlers with Hughes, and then you just stick Mercer on the right wing.
Yeah.
There's also questions about what his salary is going to be. They're talking about Mercer. I don't really know what I'd give him. I'd be okay with giving him anywhere between $2 and $4 million a year. Like, he's
closer to 2 would be more comfortable.
I would definitely like that. But
okay.
I would like this. I would like Dawson Mercer to take a contract on the cheaper end, obviously, but especially off the down year that he held. Though everyone
had a down year, so
everybody kind of had the wheels just completely fell off for this team in general. But he's durable and he's reliable. You take that on your team.
Yeah, any day.
That you throw him on your penalty kill.
Yep.
You want to talk about key guys. That's another thing I would like from Adam Henrique. You know, he can maybe play the penalty kill a little bit.
Be cool to see him back.
Yeah, he'd get a warm hand that opening night at the Rock.
Yeah, for sure. Oh.
And in the playoffs,
yeah. No, we got a solid guy out there. Who's been there time and time again.
I trust him. I trust him with anything.
Yeah.
I trust that plain and simple.
Yep.
With anything. Adam Henrique, that's my guy.
Yep. Every time. Every time. Any thoughts on the Nets trade?
Mikal Bridges is not a superstar
a game changer.
They gave up so many first-round picks. 5 first-round picks.
5 of them.
And Bojan Bogdanovic. I mean, Bogdanovic, I'm not really crazy about him.
5 first-round draft picks, though.
Like 5 first-rounders? Are you kidding me? I know draft pick value in the NBA is a bit... like significantly less valuable than first-round picks in any other sport except maybe the NHL and obviously Major League Baseball, but those aren't allowed to be traded.
Yeah.
You think the Yankees wouldn't have a first-round pick if those were allowed to be traded.
Right.
Although Cashman would probably think, what the hell do I know? But yeah, I'm not crazy about this. They're just bringing back the Villanova national championship team. I think it's just a bit. Like that's it. I'm not crazy about it. Is Bridges a good player? Absolutely. Do I think he'll thrive on a better team like the Knicks? Absolutely.
Right. Will it be a game changer?
You trade 5 first-round picks for players that you know are going to be the missing piece to winning you a championship.
No.
I don't think Mikal Bridges is that.
Right.
Especially if they better hang on to OG Anunoby. I don't care what it costs you. You bring him back because the impact that he had on this team was impeccable.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Still a lot.
Although basketball is not my strong suit. And so, what the hell do I know?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we catch game or two though. We catch.
I pay loose. I pay hard enough attention to the Knicks.
Right. I'll tune in.
Like from when they were in the playoffs, I locked in. I locked in for those games.
Yeah.
As for anything else I want to talk about, well, I want to quickly touch on the Giants' Hard Knocks offseason thing. I watched the trailer for it.
What'd you see?
I saw something that looks like they're going to throw a lot at Saquon Barkley. They are... Dude, Saquon Barkley he's going to be put in a rough spot. He kind of looked like an asshole. They're going to make him look like a dick. Straight up. Just... They're not going to be nice to him. They're going to spin the angle so much. And probably rightfully so, because Saquon was really petty during his contract negotiations. And then he signed with the Eagles, probably out of spite.
That sounds like a spite move.
Absolutely. It sounds like a spite move.
Yeah. When does that air?
I think it airs next Tuesday.
Okay.
Next Tuesday or on some Tuesday.
Okay.
On some Tuesday that airs. It's going to be on HBO Max.
Okay. Check it out. Recap it.
It's... I know I'm going to watch a little bit of it.
Yeah. I'll tune in for sure. Yeah. Those are fun. Those are fun for sure. All
right. I want to briefly touch on the Copa America real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I always like this is my once every 2 years of
Okay.
locking in the
Fair
soccer.
Enough. Yes, fair enough.
That and the Euro are happening right now. I think the round of 16 is happening in the Euro.
Yeah, I believe so.
The round of 16 is about to happen.
Yeah,
Saturday. It's gonna
Saturday at noon.
It's gonna be Switzerland versus Italy and Germany versus Denmark. So definitely intrigued. Wow, Portugal's losing to Georgia. Ooh, man, dude, Ronaldo's legacy has just been destroyed by the last few years of the last 2 years. The World Cup, especially after Messi winning, kind of took his legacy apart. And then this, dude, if they lose to Georgia in the group stage of the Euro, that would be disgusting. Man, Italy barely made it past the group stage by drawing Croatia a goal in the 98th minute. Just
that's cemented.
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, Italy sort of went on a slide. They won the Euro in 2021, didn't qualify for the World Cup in 2022. And they're sort of trying to pick up the pieces. I need my bandwagon country.
Italy?
Dude, I'm Italian.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Wooly, yes.
The Wooly's an English last
name,
but
you're Italian by heritage.
But I'm a mutt. I think Italian's the largest slice of that pie, though.
All right. Well, we love the food, so
no, I root for Italy in international soccer competitions. Like my soccer rooting tier list goes USA, Italy,
and then
whoever's playing England.
Okay, fair enough.
And then maybe whoever's playing Mexico.
Yeah.
But the Copa America, the U.S., a strong showing against Bolivia. Christian Pulisic, who's coming to his own, not only on the national team, but at the club level.
Yeah.
I looked at his stats, 12 goals for AC Milan, who finished second in the Serie A, one of the most prolific offensive midfielders, or attacking midfielders in soccer terminology in Italy. He's really coming to his own. He's developed so much. And he had in total, I guess, around 20 points, I guess is the way in hockey terms. He had 12 goals and 8 assists, which is his career high. I know there was a lot of controversy with him at Chelsea and how much they didn't play him and how much they sort of stalled him out and sat him on the bench, despite him being a super talented player. And then he goes to Italy. The House Steinbrenner partially owned AC Milan and absolutely killing it. And he's only 25 years old. He's starting to come into his own, and he's the type of player that this country is needed to excel on a bigger stage, like the Copa America, like in these international tournaments where you really want to have, if you want to be a legit team on that stage, where say you're in the knockout stage of the Copa America where you're playing against teams like Colombia and Brazil and Argentina, you're gonna want players like Christian Pulisic who can elevate themselves, not only in Europe, because like for his whole career this has been the case. Whenever he plays on the national team, he elevates his game to such a high level where he has downright taken over. So like in the World Cup, in England, he was man of the match against one of the best teams in the world. He was the best player on the field.
Yeah.
Where against guys like Harry Kane, who are world-class players. That is what Pulisic has become. He's become a world-class attacker. And if nothing else, that is what this team has. They have a buffoon of a coach. They have inconsistent talent across the board. Sure, they have guys like Tim Waham, Folarin Balogun, And their midfield is partially strong. I know Weston McKennie's drawn a little bit of ire from the fans, or at least the people who really pay attention. Gio Reyna, I know he's kind of up and down. I remember that whole feud with Greg Berhalter and Claudio Reyna that led to Gio getting benched for a majority of the World Cup despite being pinned as a legit contributor to this team. And not to mention other guys like Tyler Adams. I mean, Tim Ream has, even though he's in his 30s, he's a solid player. And Matt Turner, he's not amazing, but he's good. I'm going to support him because he's from the MAC.
Yeah.
He's a MAC, former MAC soccer player who made an infamous low light on Mazzella Field at Iona University, a field that I've played on.
Yeah.
I have played on Mazzella Field. I've played pickup soccer games on Mazzella Field. I've thrown footballs and baseballs around on that field. The same field where Matt Turner dropped a routine bounce that ended up in the back end of the net, resulting in a goal for the Iona Gales. So
you saw it with your own eyes.
I mean, I didn't see it with my own eyes, but it was from like 2012.
Okay.
Like before they renovated the campus to make it look good.
Right.
But
all right.
but I'm again, like there's so much good and so much upside on this national team, but then they have just such a bad coach. They have a coach who doesn't know how to utilize their talents. The interims, when he was briefly let go, did an amazing job. I remember the CONCACAF Nations League, they ran Mexico and Canada out of the building with Bill Callahan as their coach. And then they bring back Greg Berhalter for the entire World Cup cycle that's going to be played in the U.S. In the U.S. That's where it's happening. The World Cup in 2026 is going to be in the United States. And they just have such an awful coach. It's disappointing because this might be their best shot.
Yeah.
Because you got young players who are developing into their prime, and the next cycle, Pulisic's going to be approaching 30 years old. He's going to be 30 in 2030. I mean, he's, not to mention other players who are in their prime at the moment who are going to be on the wrong side of 30, although there are probably sort of youth development people that are going to come up and be contributors. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not, again, this is me briefly, like I catch up on soccer every 2 years.
Yeah, well, when it matters, yes.
Like for the Euro and Copa America and the World Cup.
Yeah, that's when it matters.
Also, like the Nations League and the Gold Cup, kinda. It's like I always I keep up with the U.S. national team. And
as you should. You're an American.
And what happens with them.
Yeah.
I don't keep up with any of Italy's.
Right.
I keep up only with the U.S.
Yeah. All right on. Oh.
Oh boy, this was.
It was good. All right, got it out. All right, venting. Well, we'll see what We'll see what happens next week. The draft, the Yankees, and anything else.
They're probably going to talk about. We're gonna have some Hard Knocks to chew on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, love it.
All right. So I'll wrap this one up.
Yeah.
So, anyways, from Ming Chen and a shared universe podcast, I am Kimberly. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, and as always, stay classy, New Jersey.